A hot rumor has just emerged in the NFL trade market, and the Vikings are in the middle of the conversation. Rams star Cooper Kupp may be up for trade, and many teams are eyeing the All-Pro wide receiver. However, there's a big obstacle for the Vikings. They don't have the draft picks necessary to pull off this trade. I'll tell you all the details about this possible trade and why it's so unlikely. Before diving into the reasons why the Vikings are an unlikely trade partner, we need to talk a bit about the current state of the team. While the idea of adding a player like Cooper Kupp to the roster is tempting, the Vikings' focus this offseason should be on improving their offensive and defensive lines. After a 14-win season, they know they need to address these areas to ensure they can be competitive again in the playoffs. Now, let's better understand the challenges they face in bringing Kupp to Minneapolis. The Vikings, despite being a team that could greatly benefit from adding Cooper Kupp, face serious limitations when it comes to draft capital. With only 4 draft picks this year, most of them from lower rounds, they simply don't have the resources to make an attractive offer. Furthermore, the team's most urgent needs are on the offensive and defensive lines, areas that need reinforcement after their struggles toward the end of last season. This makes the trade even harder to pull off. In your opinion, do you think the Vikings should focus on trading for Cooper Kupp, or should their priority be strengthening the offensive and defensive lines? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Maybe adding Kupp is the push the team needs, but is it worth risking so much of the team's future? I'd love to hear what you think about it. Now, let's dive into the main reason why this trade between the Vikings and Rams seems highly unlikely. What looks like a tempting opportunity for the Vikings faces a very hard reality to overcome. They simply don't have the assets needed to convince the Rams to part with Cooper Kupp, and that might leave Vikings fans disappointed. Let's understand why this trade is more of a distant dream than a real possibility. The Rams are looking to trade Cooper Kupp, and the idea of sending him to a team like the Vikings seems like an attractive solution for everyone involved. After all, Kupp had his best season under the leadership of the current Vikings coach, Kevin O'Connell, and a return to his former self could be the key for him to regain his form. However, the reality is that the Vikings, with only 4 draft picks, cannot compete with other teams that have more draft capital to offer the Rams. The chance of this trade happening is extremely low, which makes the trade scenario quite improbable. If this trade doesn't happen, the Vikings will have to focus on other areas, like improving protection for quarterback Kirk Cousins and strengthening the defense. While adding Kupp to the team would be a major attraction, without the proper resources, they cannot divert their focus from their more urgent needs. Additionally, the impact on the Rams could be significant, as they would lose one of their top stars and need to replace his offensive production. The situation requires both teams to reevaluate their strategies and priorities for the immediate future. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think the Vikings are right to focus on strengthening the offensive and defensive lines, or do you believe adding Kupp could be a crucial move for the team? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and let us know if you think the Vikings should take a risk on a trade, even without the necessary resources. Your input is really important for understanding what the fanbase thinks about this potential move. So, what do you think the Vikings should do this offseason? Stay tuned for more news about Cooper Kupp's future and the moves of the Vikings and other NFL teams. See you in the next video, with more updates and analysis. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss anything.